So those of you who've been around the channel for a while might remember we tried some overwintering onions this year, and the type we tried were the Senty Japanese onions. The first time doing them overwintering, and I guess the question is, was it worth it? Was it worth that hassle? Way back in, I think it was about, I was just checking my videos there, it was about 9 months ago when these were planted out. I bought them as sets. I normally do all my onions from seeds, but it was a little bit last minute, so we got some sets from DT Brown to give it a try. Put them out, overwinter them, hopefully get a really early crop. Now, what is it today when I'm filming this video? It's about the 7th or 8th of August. This is going to be going out on Sunday, a few days later. Just I've got some things on and whatnot, so this is when I'm filming it. So I would have expected, to be honest with you, I would have expected to be harvesting them a little bit earlier. I would have liked to have got them cropped at around about June time, but whether it's been the dodgy weather or not this year, I'm not entirely sure. But they haven't been ready to pick, but now they are ready to pick. And why am I standing in the polytunnel telling you this? Because even though it's right in the middle of June, it is blowing an absolute gale outside. The sun is just about coming out. Hopefully the wind's going to die down, but I tell you what we'll do. We'll get sorted. We'll head out there, we'll have a look, and we'll see whether that early start was really worth it or not. So this is my trusty onion bed here. There's not much to it. One of many onion beds, because there's other ones dotted around and about. This one here is the one we used for the Japanese onions. Say Senty was the variety. I'll put links down below and stuff like that. I'm actually this year, because it's just coming up to time to doing them, I'm actually going to do these again, but I'm going to do them from seed. And I'm getting some seeds. So Ian from Grown Local, love using Grown Local, locally sourced seeds, small business, not one of your big companies doing loads of stuff. He's got some of the Senty seeds in, so I got some ordered. I ordered them 2 days ago, so they should be here soon. I'm hoping they'll be here for the weekend so I can get them sorted. Anyway, onion bed, pallet collar, compost. It's got one of these wooden frames and lids that I put on some of the pallet collars, primarily because when you put the onions in to begin with, the pigeons that live in the trees over there, they don't come and damage things. They don't cause any real destruction. But what they do is when they're small, they see the little wiggly green tops popping up from the onions. They think they look like worms. Over they come, and they'll peck at them and they'll pull them up. And it means I've just got to come back. They get knocked a little bit in terms of the time for growing, and I've got to put them all back in. And as well, might remember, we had some awful problems with the slugs. Nearly everybody's had problems with slugs this year that came into this bed, and I've never known it. I've never known the slugs and the snails to go after the alliums, but I honestly thought these onions were done with. Earlier in the year, I thought the slug damage was so bad on them, I thought these were never going to recover, but they have done. We stuck with them, we've recovered, and they've grown back. And you know what? On the whole, pretty confident it's going to be a decent crop. I've never done Senty before, first time doing Senty. Any of you guys out there doing Senty, let me know in the comments down below. Or if you've got a different variety of overwintering onion that you do, the Senty is the only one that I really know about. If there's other ones, let me know. Any you've had a really good success with, or any that have been an absolute disaster, let me know. I am going to use the fork to lift them up, and the reason I'm going to do that, and I mentioned this before, is that, you know, God rest his soul, Steve from Green Side Up, I remember him once when I was doing shallots, and I was being a bit not as gentle or as careful as I should be, and I was just pulling the shallots out, and he said that's not the way you do it, because if you damage the shallots, if you damage them, if you damage the skin, if you want to store them for a long time, if you've got that damage, that cut that lets the air and the bacteria and things in, they're just going to go rotten. It's going to cause problems. So be gentle-ish when you're lifting them. So we'll pick one right in the middle here. I'm going to get my fork right underneath and lever up and lever those roots up out of the soil, and we'll give them a shake. Now normally onions are the big sort of, you know, they're like the big straggly white roots, and the roots they're okay. Look, there's the first one. Let me show you that. You can see it there. It's decent. That's what I'd call an okay onion. You know what, if I bought a bag of onions from Tesco's or Sainsbury's and I got one that looked like that sort of size, I'd be okay. But you know what, the real beauty I like of growing onions is growing the big ones. And let me get this, because I can see a couple that are actually a really good size. And again, the roots are coming out. They're coming out really clean. I mean, these beds are pretty good. I mean, it's really good compost and whatnot in there. But that's a really good size on there. Hopefully you can sort of see that in the camera. And I'll hold up my hand and you can see it, and it's a big sort of size. So looking good. But conversely, look, I'm not going to tell you that I'm the world's greatest giant onion grower, that we do have some in here. We get the compost off the roots that perhaps aren't quite so big. I mean, that's just a a small one. There's a bit of a mix, but on the whole, I'm pretty pleased. Now, what I would say is that generally, I mentioned before, generally I grow all the onions from seed. These ones were from set. One, I like growing things from seed. It's good fun. I enjoy doing it. It's more fun than just sticking a set in. Sets are nice and easy, nice and convenient. If that's your bag, hey, crack on, great stuff. I like growing them from seed. I like faffing about. I like mollycoddling with them and getting stuff sorted. But generally, the ones from set have a bit of a habit of bolting. So you get the sort of stem coming up from the middle of the onion that'll eventually grow a flower on it. And when that comes, the onion's pretty much going to stop growing. The energy's going out of the onion into the flower and whatnot, and it's ready to be picked. These from set, you know, like I say, the sets are more prone to it, but these haven't at all. I don't know if it's the variety, I don't know if the Senty ones in particular don't do that, or whether I've just had some good luck from these ones from set, but not a single one of them has bolted. We've had no flowers, and I've noticed, and I'll show you at the end there, some of the ones over there, the Bedfordshire Champion ones that are normally absolutely rock solid and that I do from seed, they've actually, some of them have started to bolt, some of them have started to get the flowers on them. So we'll go over there and have a look at that at the end. So what we'll do, let me crack on with this, right? Let me dig up all of these, whether it's the big ones that I like to show off with and show you, or whether it's the ones that maybe aren't quite so big. You know, we'll always give you an honest review, an honest opinion, or an honest update on anything I've done here. I'm not going to hide the little tiddlers from you, but I'll dig all the rest of these out. We'll have a look and we'll just see overall whether it was worth it or not. So we have once again returned to the sanctuary of the polytunnel because it is absolutely wild outside. We'll go outside in a minute. I'll show you. After we looked at these onions, I was going to show you the other ones that are starting to bolt over there. We'll go out and have a look at them and you can see what the weather's like outside. But you know what? It's looking all right. You know, I'm pretty pleased with how things are looking at the moment. So let's take a look. So here's the onions hiding out in the new harvest basket. Remember, we got this just the other week there, our new Pride and Joy. I've kind of split them up into two sections, right? So we've got the smaller side over here, which is okay. You know what? That's not going to do one meal. I'll maybe use two of them to make one meal. So there's maybe, you know, there's 5 in there. We'll maybe get 2 meals out of them if I'm lucky. But over this side, you know what it is? Most of them are really good. That's about a sort of average kind of size. And like I say, you can see in my hand there, it's a decent size onion. There's ones that are a bit bigger. There's ones that are a bit smaller, but overall, you know what it is, you can see them there, they've turned out absolutely smashing. And what I would say is on the surface at the moment, I've not cut any up or used any, they look like really good quality onions at the minute. So I'm really quite pleased with how they're looking. They are going to go home, they're going to come home with me. I'm going to hang them up in the greenhouse, and let me just grab that there and show you. Look up here. So I'm going to hang it like that, upside down in the greenhouse for a little while, because I want them to form a really good skin on the outside. Why am I going to hang them up like that? Because all the moisture that's in the green stems, I don't want it running into the onion. So you hang it up upside down, so all the moisture runs out the top. The tops, the green bits, will eventually die down and dry out. And the onion here, it'll grow a really nice sort of skin on it, which will help it last. And if you want to store it, if you want to use it later on, it'll store and it'll keep much better. So that's the overwintered onions, looking pretty good. They're looking all right. Would I do it again? You know what? Yes, I would. And you might have guessed from earlier on when I said I'm getting the Senty onion seeds from Ian over at Grown Local. I'm absolutely going to do them again this year. Would have I expected them earlier? Yeah, I'd like to be harvesting them around about June sort of time rather than August. But hey, I'm not going to worry. We've got a good crop of onions for them, and that's what really matters. So yeah, we're going to do the overwintering ones again, but we're going to head outside and look at the Bedfordshire Champions. I mentioned there a few issues with bolting on them. I was just going to show you, we've got one bed to the side here that's got a bit of a problem, but I can hear the rain starting on the polytunnel. Remember before I was saying that the weather's a bit dodgy? Let's go outside and let's just see what summer is like in Scotland. Now the wind, I don't know how well you can see with the wind. You might be able to see with the trees blowing behind me, but it's probably a good sort of 20 to 30 miles an hour at the moment. And let me just move the camera up. Look at the beautiful summer sky that we currently have. So I'm busy trying not to get rained on and show you these onions. Now, if anything was ever worth a like and subscribe, surely this has got to be worth a like and subscribe. Dodging this just to show you these onions at the end. Let me flip the camera around here. let's go down the way and let's just see what we've got going on here. So the Bedfordshire champions, you can see, look at them, they are grown to a brilliant size. Again, I do these every year. This bed here, admittedly, this is a little bit of a spare bed that I just put some spare ones on. These were grown from seed. Let me just move around there to move my shadow out of the way so you can see them. But the size of these are way bigger than those Senty ones that we just had. They are much, much bigger. These haven't been overwintered. I'm pretty sure, were these started Boxing Day or were they a little bit later? Around about Boxing Day, perhaps just a little bit later. You know, that's tradition. Start your onion seeds on Boxing Day. Maybe it was later. I can't quite remember. I think I did start them, but then we had problems and I lost them all and then I started them again. I'm sure that's what the problem was. But look at this one here. The onion looks absolutely smashing. But if you come right up the middle here, there we are. It's bolted. There's a flower. And there's another couple of them had it, like this one here. And I've already picked the sort of flower off in the middle to stop it from getting any worse. But I reckon these will be ready soon. These will be ready to come out pretty soon. You can see the one in the middle there. It's a weird one. It's gone like double. But that'll be ready to come soon because the tops have toppled over there, much like the Senty ones did as well. Anyway, all that's left for me to say is a big old thank you to Katie, to Joe and to Pammy, my patrons, for helping to support the channel. That is me done for today. I'm going to run in there and hide from the wind and the rain. Thank you for watching, folks, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.